Hello, everybody. Well, the weather has indeed been strange, has it not? We just had that. Well, we didn't really have a lot of snow here in where I'm at, but a lot of people did have a lot of snow. We had. I remember that. What was it, on a Monday? Yeah, I think we had all that snow and everything on that Sunday. And when I went out to work the next morning, I couldn't get in my Jeep because the doors were froze shut. Um, and then so I had to come back in, and I have some spray stuff where you can spray if things are froze up, but it was inside my Jeep, so that really wasn't doing me a lot of good. Duh. Anyway, because I was just used to spraying that on the windshield. That's another story. I came into the house and got some water and took it out there and threw it on there, and I was able to get into the Jeep. And so I get in the Jeep, and I'm sitting there for a few minutes, and then I'm on my way to work, and halfway to work, my serpentine belt starts squealing real loud, which then in turn drags my battery meter down, which that in turn sends off a beep, and my check gauges light came on, and I'm on my way to work in the middle of that snow and ice. I'm like, Lord, please just get me to work. So I got to work, and then not really sure what happened with that. Well, I need a new belt. I know, because about 3 years ago it did the same way, and I had to have the belt replaced. So, but when I left that evening to come home, it was okay. Got a feeling I'm going to have that changed. And then the weather warmed up some, and today by 8 o'clock this morning, when I went to pick Stephanie up, or 8:30, it was already 70 degrees, and I think it got up to 76 today. We're in for tornado warnings, tornado watches, severe thunderstorms, and that's what's overhead right now. That's why I'm doing this video, so I can keep my mind off of it, or try to anyway. The rain's died down a little bit. Hopefully it won't get too bad where I'm at, but we'll see. Now yesterday, well, as a matter of fact, it started Wednesday night. Wednesday night, I was online, and I couldn't access my bank information, and a box would pop up and say, that it was not a secure site, and I'd never had that problem before. I thought maybe something was just down at the bank, so I went on about my business. And this box kept popping up in the corner, saying something. I can't remember now what it said, but I'd never seen that box before. I kept closing that box out. And so then it got to where I never could access the bank. I couldn't access my email. Then my Firefox just stopped working altogether. So I had to go to Google Chrome. And so Joe came down here this morning, and he looked at it. I didn't have any spyware or anything on my computer. Not sure what was going on with it, but he fixed everything for me. So my computer was up and running, and I was very happy. And so he went on home, and I was sitting here, and I was online, and I was watching TV, and then I just happened to look over at the TV, and the screen was just red with lines. I said, well, I'm thinking it was the channel. I picked up the remote to change channels. It's like that on all the channels. I said, well, what's wrong with my TV? I turn it off, turn it back on, it stays the same. So I call him, and I said, I think my TV just went out. And so he was going to come down here and look at it. I had another TV here that he could have, switched it out with. And so I called him a few minutes later. I said, what's back on? He said, well, maybe it was just the cable. And then right after that, it went out again. Now, all this, mind you, Joe has to sleep today because he works third shift. So I thought, well, I called him back. I said, well, it's gone out again. So he comes down, and he switches out my TVs. And then he went back home, and I'm assuming he's in bed, but that's just how my day went. And now the storm. So, but I've been off today, and this is just, everything I'm saying you probably don't even care about, but I'm just babbling. One interesting thing that I did want to talk about was I saw where Gigi, my cousin Gigi, had posted on somebody else's post that they had posted about a man in Pulaski, Virginia. That's where he lives at. the police are warning people to beware because he was going to people's back doors, knocking on the back door and asking for water and asking to use the phone. Not sure what his motive was behind there, but it can't be good. You know, how thirsty can you be to go on to everybody's back door and knock on the door and ask for water on a phone? Anyway, reminded me of something that happened this past summer. It was after dark. It was in the evening. And I heard a knock on my back door. Well, nobody comes to my back door. You know, people, if they're going to come to your home, will come to the front door. That's common sense. So I sort of froze when I heard somebody knocking at the back door. And I waited, and they knocked again. And so I went, and I opened the blinds a little bit, and I could see a man standing out there. He was standing out there on the steps, and he had his hand like this and looked like a plate or something with aluminum foil over it, and he was just standing there. And so he looked like he was in his mid to late 20s. He was a black man. And not that that makes any difference, people. I'm just giving a description. Okay. Anyway, he was standing there, and I said, "Can I help you?" You know, I didn't open the door, and he kind of did like this, you know, like putting his ear to the door, like he couldn't help me. I mean, like he couldn't hear me, like he thought, if I thought he couldn't hear me, I was going to open the door. And he said, and so I said it loud, I said, "Can I help you?" He said, "I live up the street, and I was frying chicken, and I fried too much, and I thought you might like to buy some." And I said, "No, thank you." And I shut the blinds, and I backed off from the door. Now, that could have been a legitimate story, or what he have under that foil. He could have had a gun under that foil. He could have had a knife under that foil. He could have had pepper spray under that foil. And by coming to the back door, had I opened the back door, he could have hit me with it and came on in. But no, I don't open my back door. I don't open it at all. One time, I had a police officer knock at my back door. And there had actually been a murder here in the park. And there was a knock at the door one night, and I went and I peeked out the blinds, and I saw a police officer standing out there. And so I didn't open my door for him. I just said, "Can I help you?" And he hollered through the door and told me that because of the incident, everybody knew about the incident, that they were just warning people to keep their doors locked, you know, be on the lookout for anything suspicious, and gave the whole speech. And then he did tell me, he said, "I want to commend you for not opening your door for me because, you know, I commend you for not opening your door. You did a good thing." And told me to stay safe. I said, "But no, I'm not opening my back door for anybody. I get nervous if somebody knocks on my front door and I have to open it." Which they do often. I've got a no soliciting sign on my front door, but people still knock anyway. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just rambling some more. It seems like the wind has died down, and it seems like the rain has let up a little bit, but I'm not sure if what we was getting was just the beginning or if this is the end. And I've got my I've got a lasagna in the oven, and it should be done any time. I've got my timer set.
Come on, man, come on, it's time to get
Matter of fact, yep, and there goes my timer.
Wake
I like that alarm. That's kind of cute, right? But anyway. Well, now that my lasagna is done and the storm seems to have subsided a little bit, I'm going to get off of here and I'm going to go eat my dinner. And until next time, bye-bye.